Hello and welcome to CIA. My name is Mank, and in this tutorial I'm going to give you an overview of Mautic. So I will talk about everything there is in the Mautic, and this will be a brief overview and not a detailed one. So the purpose of this overview is to make you familiar with the Mautic interface, all the menus there are in Mautic, and I will talk about the left menu and the right menu here. So I will talk about everything that Mautic has to offer. But for details on anything or all the elements that we have in Mautic, I will be creating individual videos dedicated to each one of these, like dashboard, calendars, contacts, and so on. So in this one, I will just give you an overview to get you started. Okay, so when you log in into Mautic, first thing that you see is the dashboard. So dashboard is there to give you an overview of how and what your Mautic is doing. So when you look at the dashboard, first thing you see is contacts which are being created. These can be contacts which are identified and those which are anonymous. So anonymous contacts are those which have been identified by Mautic's tracking pixel, but they do not have any associated name or email with them. So these are potential leads, you can say. So this is how the contact works, and as you can see, there are so many contacts while I do not even have these many. So these are all the page views I'm getting. I'm using the tracking pixel on my blog, so whenever there is a new page view, that contact is identified by Mautic as an anonymous contact, and that statistics is being displayed here. And similarly here, it goes like it shows you the unique visits that we are getting from unique IP addresses, and then we have form submissions. So in the form submission, it will show you on how many forms were submitted, and this is not specific to a single form, but overall, if you have, let's say, 10 forms, so all the collective data of all those 10 forms will be displayed in the form of this graph. So recent activity tells you what is going on, and upcoming email is when you have some scheduled emails, they will be displayed here. And this whole area is editable, like you can choose the from and to date ranges, and each one of these graphs have their own options to edit and remove. You can customize them with some parameters, but for that we will I'll be talking in details in another video. So this one here, these are actions that you can take on any view. So this is basically the general template of the Mautic UI. On the left side you have main menu, and on the right side, when you click on this cogwheel icon, so you get the settings menu, and inside there are multiple configurations as well. I will be talking about these as well in details. So after dashboard, let me show you this is the notification area, and this is the search bar that you can search throughout the Mautic. And this is your user menu. You can check your account or log out. So these are also this one is also collapsible, so you can collapse and expand this. So this is the basically it about the general UI. And now let's move on to next one, which is calendar. So calendar is not very much usable in Mautic. I mean, even the Mautic official docs doesn't have any mention about the calendar. And in my last, let's say, 3-4 years of working with Mautic, I have never personally did anything at all with the calendar. But when you are sending out a lot of emails, and you have campaign actions and events which are happening on a certain date, so you will see those events on the calendar. So for example, for the July 21, I sent some test emails, and so these are the events of those campaign events which are happening on certain date. um, After calendar we have contact. So contact is very important because contact is like, you can say, the core of Mautic. So when we think about Mautic, when we work with the Mautic, the most frequently used things, or like the lifeline of Mautic, is contact. It's campaigns. In the channels you will find emails, and in the components there are forms and landing pages and assets. So these are the main components which are making Mautic what it is. So I will talk about contacts first, and then we will go through each of them one by one. So, as you can see, this is again the generalized view. You have the index. This is the index page or list page that you will find on each one of them. You go to company, segment, components. Everywhere you will find the same similar structure, and you will find the list. On the right side, you have the ID. Last active is when this contact last interacted, like visiting the page, opening the email, or taking any of the events that you want to take place in Mautic. And this shows you the points, and then stage, location, whatever information is available, it can be seen here. And then again you will find the title is here, then action items are here or action menus are here. If you want to add quickly add a new contact, you can use this form. This is a very short and compact form where you will fill up the basic fields, and you can create the contact. Or if you want to add more details about any contact, then you can use this new button, and it will open all the possible fields that you can fill in. So this is the detailed way to add the contact, and quick add is the compact view of adding the contact, right? So then we have options to export. You can choose to export to CSV or export to Excel, or you can also import the contact. So for import, what you do is you choose a CSV file, and for example, let me try to see if I have some CSV file. For example, this, right? I think this uh, so delimiter will be, I think, this for this particular file. So let me choose it again, upload. Yeah, so as you can see now, all the columns which are in your CSV, they will be displayed here, and then you can choose which field you want to associate with this particular column from the CSV, and then you can choose the which is the owner of this contact. You can choose if you want to import this import all the contacts from this CSV file to a particular segment, and if you want to assign them some tag. So this is how you work or you import the context. And then we have multiple options here. This one is to cancel. Then you have option to import in browser. This is recommended for small files where you don't have so many contacts, because it takes little bit time to process them. So if you have a large number of contacts, like 1000, 2000 and more, so you should probably use the import in background. This works based on the cron job, and it will keep importing the contacts in the background. So whenever you are importing a new CSV, and if what happens if there, let's say there is an existing contact with email test@example.com, and the same email is also part of the CSV file that you are importing. What will happen is these two will be merged, and the fields will be overwritten. So that's how the import works. So let's go back to the contact screen, right? So I will just go back. So what other options do we have available? This one is for searching, and as I said, in the dashboard section, I show you there were so many contacts coming up. So this is how they look. These are anonymous contacts that are being created in Mautic. You can use this filter is anonymous, and this will give you the whole list of all the identified IP addresses which have not been identified as a contact, because unless there is an email associated with it, Mautic does not identify this as a contact. So what are the options do we have? When you click on this, the name, you get into the detailed view. This is something similar to how you add a new contact with details. To see all the details, you click on this one, and it will show you all the fields that are being filled for this one. In the social fields, then you have devices, and from where this has been interacting with the system, your Mautic. And then you have the history of the contact, in which you will find all the events that took place. So for example, this contact was created from this IP address, and this form was submitted. This is how this contact was identified. So this is how it is working. For the details, you can directly send an email to this contact. You can choose which you can choose to type some email, or you can choose from some existing email. So this one, for example, so the text is here, and you can send this directly to the contact. Then you have edit option. It will open this contact inside the detail view, and you can edit any of the field. So I will not do anything right now. So, and other options to we have is you can see which campaign this contact is part of. So you can assign or unassign it from here. Then you have other option to export this, to merge this with another contact, and then you have preferences of this contact. So in the preferences, it allows you to choose if you want to send regular emails to this contact, or there should be any frequency when the email should be sent. Then we have category. So there is currently no category assigned to this contact. And then finally the segment, you can choose which segment this contact has to be part of. So there are multiple ways you can assign the segment to the contact. So this is one of them. Okay, so let me just close it down, and then you have two options here. First, when you click on this downward arrow and on the left of individual contact, you will find option to edit this, to see details, to send email, or to delete this one. And when you select multiple contacts, then you will find this one useful. What you can do is you can change the campaigns, that to say to add to a campaign or to remove from some campaign. You can choose, let's say if you want to add to this and remove from this. So this is something that it does. Then you can change the categories, you can change the channels, you can change the owner, segments, stages. You can export these selected contacts to CSV, to Excel, or you can set them to unsubscribe mode, which is called set do not contact. So if I choose this option, it will even if these contacts are part of any campaign, they will not receive any email. Mautic will not send an email to them. Or you can do mass delete using delete selected. Right. So this is the basic about contacts view. So let's move on to next one. So companies is almost similar to the contact, but if the contact has a company name, so they will be displayed in this view. So I have not personally used much in the company, because most of the people I have worked with, they want to use Mautic to just send emails, and to proceed towards converting the lead. So this is mostly how I worked with Mautic, and so company was not widely used. The company was used in Pipedrive or HubSpot, which can be integrated with Mautic, of course, and people tend to use HubSpot or Pipedrive like a CRM, and Mautic just as an option to send email or to do outbound marketing. But now HubSpot also provides the same option, so that is also good. So basically, it's the same for companies as well. You can do some searching and filtering, right? You can search for contacts or erase them. You can create a new company. This will open the retail view. You can add this, and you also have the option to merge it with an existing one. And then you have options to import companies as well, and you can see the import history. Personally, I have not used it much, but if it serves your purpose, then well and good, because I think that Mautic is great, and you can use it as a CRM as well. So this is actually a CRM. It's not just a marketing platform, because it gives you all those options of a CRM, that you can assign points, create stages. You have contacts, you have companies, you have segmentation of them. So, and there are report generation options as well. So I think Mautic can be used as a CRM as well. So okay, moving on. Next we go to the segment. So what are the segments? Segment is a very important part of Mautic, as I said earlier as well. So let's say you have a group of contacts you want to send different emails to, right? So let's say you have contacts from New York, and then you have contacts from Chicago, right? And you want to send them different target emails. How will you do that? So you have a list of contacts, and you just have to apply a filter. It could be a very simple filter. So there are basically two type of segments. So now let's move on to this part. One is static segment, and then there is dynamic segment. So static segment is when you just give it a name, and then you do nothing. You can add or remove the contacts into this segment however you wish. So it can be using form submission, it could be using email or import, right? And then there are dynamic segments. To create a dynamic segment, what you have to do is you have to go to this tab, filter, and let's say I want to choose location or city. So in the city, I choose here, right? So I choose New York. So now every contact which has city New York, they will be added to this segment. You don't have to do anything. Your cron job should be set up, and this segment will have contacts with all the contacts which have New York as the city field. Um, Okay, so that's how you create dynamic filters. And about these, you can assign or not assign a category. Then, is this segment publicly accessible? That means it will be displayed when you are doing subscription or not. Then we have a preference center. You can create preference center page in Mautic, and if so, then this segment should be or should not be displayed on the preference center. And finally, published or unpublished. So if you have unpublished section, it will not be used in any campaign, and if you have it published, then you can use it everywhere in the Mautic, right? So this is about segment. So basically, segment is a group of contacts given a particular identifier name, and you can use them in your campaigns to send out emails as well. So basically, this is a segmentation of your contacts. Originally, it was called lead list, but now they renamed it to segment. And same goes for the contact. They were called leads, and they were renamed to the contacts. Okay, so moving on. Let's go to the next section, which is component. So in components, we have assets. So assets are downloadable files that you can upload and host on your Mautic, and then uh, when you use this downloadable URL and to send you know let's say if uh, let's say you have a form on your WordPress blog or website where you want to offer them a PDF ebook, and for signing up on the Mautic or signing up for your email list, right? So what you can do is you can upload an asset here. You can create a new asset, like you can see. You can choose the file. Let's say I choose this one, and then you can give it a title, alias, or description. And what you have to do is you just have to publish this, and you can choose if this should be indexable by search engine or not. Most of the time I choose not to do so, because you are giving this file as a benefit to your subscriber for subscribing to your email list, right? So when you create this, you will get a URL, and you can use this URL on your email list to allow them to download this asset. And whenever they download, you will get a download count here. And whoever, if the user is already identified with Mautic, then you will see in the contact history that this contact actually downloaded the asset. So this is just a way to host your files and provide a downloadable link to your contacts, right? So you can edit this. You have other options like clone this or delete this. So this is basically to host the files which you can provide to your contacts as a downloadable URL, and they will be tracked, of course. That's the benefit of it. Otherwise, you could host it anywhere, right? So next one, forms, which are again very important part of Mautic, right? So yeah, so for forms, there are two type of forms. One is standalone and one is campaign forms. So when you create a new form, you will find campaign forms and standalone form. So what is the difference between these two forms, right? The campaign form is something which you can use in when you are creating a campaign, and when a form is submitted, you can initiate the contact to that campaign, right? And standalone form is something you can place anywhere, and it has nothing to do with the campaign, and you can choose some actions inside the standalone form itself, and user will whenever there is successful submission, that action will be taken. So there can be multiple actions as well, right? So I will talk about the forms in detail in a different video, but just to give you an overview, let me just show you the available options, right? So I will first go with a campaign form, and you can see this is the name of the form. This goes into if you place something here, that will go into the form tag of the HTML which is generated, right? So on the right side, almost all the similar options, and additionally you have theme option here. You can choose which theme you want to assign to this form. Kiosk mode is when you want to just take input and record it. There is no certain action, or you don't want to let's say track this form submission in more details. So this is just to just like to take the entry and keep record of something, so that kind of thing. And then this successful submit action, this gives you three options. Remain at form, that means when the successful submission happens, there will be nothing, just the form will go blank, and it will remain as the form. Redirect URL, here you can place a thank you landing page URL. So when the form is submitted, you can redirect user to that thank you page. And the third one is to display message. Whatever message you place here will be displayed when the form is submitted. So in the field option, you can add different type of fields, right? So you have option for captcha, date, time, description area, email, file, HTML, text, number, page break, password, and so many options are there. So you choose any of these, and then you will get this pop-up. Here you can add the label which is displayed along with the form. Just let's say like you have it here, right? Like maximum, this is a label, so you can choose a label of this kind. Then you can choose default value here. A default value is if the form is blank, it will come up with this default value, and the placeholder is something which is displayed on the form, like as you can see, in this one, like you see, this add a new field is a placeholder. So whenever you select something, it usually gets replaced, and something else comes up on its place, right? So I was going on with the email, and yeah. So you want to show this label or not? A label is necessary even if you want to show it or not. You can choose from here. And if you want to add some help message, like it will appear like this, and a question mark icon, and when user hover over it, this help message will be displayed. You want to save this the result of this field or not? You can choose from here. Then you can choose which contact field has to be assigned to this field. Then you have validation. You can choose if required or not, and you can give it a message like email is required, right? So attribute, these are the HTML attributes. If you want to give this field some name, which is by default it takes the name from the label field, but if you want to assign something different, you can choose it from here. Label attributes, you can add some. HTML has some attributes. These are like more into developer kind of things. Most of the time you will not need all of these, but I'm just giving you an overview. So yeah, so this is for label attribute, then input attribute, and then container attributes. So these are all the HTML things, more advanced level things. So I will not cover this in more details in this video. I will create another one when we talk about the forms. So behavior, yes, this is very important and can be very handy at times. So always display, yes, no. You can choose if yes, this will always be displayed. If you want to choose no, then you can choose what are the conditions when this field should be displayed. For example, show when the value exists. So if this email already exists, then only the field will be displayed. And autofill data, if you choose yes, then the email of the user who is visiting the page, if available, will be displayed. So after X number of submission, this is like if someone is visiting again and again, and you want to offer something new when they have already visited 5 times, so or they have submitted the form, let's say 5 times, so you can choose place here 5, and this field will appear only after 5 submissions already, right? So this is the basic of how you create a form, and the fields will appear here. You can customize them on your wish. Then we have actions. So as I was saying, this is a campaign form. So initiation of this form should usually happen from will happen from the campaign, and you can use this form as a source of the campaign. So in campaign, when we will talk about the campaign, I will show you that there are two ways to initiate a campaign. One is segment and one is form. So this form will display when you choose the form as the starting of your campaign, right? So here there are some actions. For example, if you want to record the UTM tags from the browser URL, you can choose this one. And you want to remove this contact from do not contact list, download an asset, like we talked about assets, right? So if you choose asset, you can select which asset you want, and whenever the form submission is successful, the download will immediately start, right? So there are multiple options as well. You want to send an email to user, and the user, there are difference between user and contact, right? So when we talk about user, this is your account in Mautic, like this one here, Mayank Tiwari. This is a Mautic user, but everything that you see in the contact section, these are the contacts, these are not users, right? So send form results, you want to send form result to some particular email, right? So you can use this one. So these are very limited options. When you are going with a campaign type of form, you get limited options, because it is expected that most of the action you want to take will happen from campaign itself and not from the form itself. So okay, next let me also show you the options available inside the standalone form. So here we go. These are all the same kind of things. Fields will also be the same. The only difference comes when you talk about the action. So you will notice that these are there are some different options, and these are more options than we had in the campaign form, right? So you can add company score, you can change points, you can modify segment, contact tags, remove contact from do not contact. This is probably these two are common. Download asset is common, and post result to another form, this is also you can do. And send email to contact, this was not part of the campaign form, right? So there we had send email to user and send form result, but in this one we also have this one. So when let's say a contact is submitting a form, you want to send them a response immediately that okay, we have received your request and we will be working on it. So this kind of response email, or if you want to use this for double opt-in, that is also possible. So there are two ways of doing double opt-in. I will create a separate video, but I have already created a blog post about this, so I will put the link in description for the blog post. You can go and read this. So how to create double opt-in email campaign in Mautic. So I will place the link in URL in description, sorry. Yeah, so this is the major difference of the campaign form and standalone form, right? So next let's just look at the landing pages as well. So what I do usually is, instead of using landing pages from Mautic, I use the landing pages from WordPress. I have Oxygen Builder, which I'm using for my WordPress websites, and so it is very easy and to create landing pages on WordPress, and you get more features in there than you get in the Mautic. But for this overview, of course, I will go on with this. So you can see the similar kind of view UI, and you get some options to edit or clone. And if you click on the name, you will get a detail page where you can see the URL of this page, and you can just go and check out the URL as well, right? So what is difference here? Like, you can also add A/B test, but this I will not cover in this video. We will go over it when I create a detailed videos about landing pages in the Mautic, right? So what are the available options? I will close this and let's go and create a new landing page just to show you. So you get all these templates here. So these are default template. You can also create custom templates, by the way, and if you want to code it all, you can use the code mode as well. So if you go to a code mode, what you will get is you will get the HTML text editor here, and you can do something here, like so you can write your own HTML code. But most of the time I do not prefer this. As I said, I go for the WordPress because it's easier. But let's move on. Yeah. So blank one gives you a blank template, but this enables the landing page builder in Mautic. So you will get these slot types in the Mautic, and you can add the sections. For example, you can add 1 column, you can add 2 columns, and you can add 3 columns as well. So these this will create columns for you, and you can add text type of slot. So you can insert it here. You can add image type of slot. You can do social share. You can do dynamic content. You can place videos. Also, you can insert the code here. Like this one is code mode, so you can place the code as well. Image plus caption. So these are all different type of slots that you are getting in the Mautic. And if you have something simple in mind, most of the time landing pages of the Mautic can also suffice. But depending on how complicated your design is, how advanced your design is, you can choose to use Mautic landing page builder or create your own, right? So when you apply this, basically I think it will give an error because I have not set the title. So let me place the title, sample landing page. So again, let's go to builder, apply, and what will happen is it will give you a preview URL, and you can see how this looks in the browser, right? So see this, we place the social share buttons. So as you can see, they are appearing, and the columns are there, the images are there. So now you can see how this looks in the browser. Then you can close and save and close it. Other options, again, the same thing, publish, unpublish. You want to use this as preference center. So I will again create another video about the preference center, because this has to have its own details. This is something that you may give a better experience to your context if you are using preference center. So I will dedicate a separate video for this. And if you don't want to miss all these individual videos that I'm going to create, please consider subscribing as well. Okay, so this is how the landing page works, and then you save and close, and then you will see the URLs are here. This is preview URL. Preview URL will work only for those people who have logged in to your page, and public URL will work for anybody, right? And all the visits that you are getting on your landing page will be displayed here. So these are the details about it. And if you create A/B test, A/B tests are generally, you can create 2 landing pages which are going to be on the same URL, and but with different kind of content. So Mautic will assign them on its own, and almost it's almost like 50% of the emails that you're sending will get one first landing page, and another section of those will get second landing page, and you can see which one is working better, and then based on the outcome of it, you can choose to continue with the better landing page, which is converting more for you, right? So next is dynamic content. So initially this was not part of Mautic, but in the Mautic 3 they added the dynamic content separately. So what are dynamic content? So in dynamic content, you can create some content which is based on some let's say some kind of parameter. So whatever you type here, you can choose what is the language, if this is translation of something, and is this campaign based. So if this campaign based, then what will happen is you can show this content based on what condition happened in the in the campaign. So if you just disable this, then you can give it a slot name, and then you can use it in your email and landing pages, right? So you can add the UTM tags here as well, but I will not cover dynamic content right now, because this will make this video very long. I will dedicate again for each item that we are discussing. I am going to dedicate a complete video to this, and to not miss this, please subscribe and press that bell icon, right? So here, so this is the main feature of the dynamic content. Let's say I am putting something here. Hi, this is first part of TC dynamic content, and give it a name. Let's say test content, right? And then you can apply the filters. So if in the filter, let's say I say if the points are equal to 2, if this if some contact has 2 points, then this will be displayed. Okay, so this is how it works. So you choose when this content will be displayed. So there are certain actions to display this content, and you can choose what filter to apply, right? So there are multiple options. Almost all the contact fields are available with you. You can choose whatever you want, like the example of city, right? So this contact will should only be displayed to those people who are living in New York. So this will be only displayed to those people. So when you create this, save and close. So now you're okay. So let me give it a slot name again, test content, and save. Right. So now your dynamic content is created, and let's I will show you where to use it, like when we create the email. Okay, so before going to the campaigns, I will first go to the channels, and inside channel as well, I will only be discussing the part of email because emails are important. Mautic is known for emails. There are other options as well, but I will not be covering them in this video because it will take a lot of time, and it's not. I have personally, frankly speaking, none of my customers ever used any other options. So most of the time they work with the email. So I will put my focus on what is important versus what is being used generally, right? For other items, you can just go to let's Mautic documentation and check it out. And if you need uh, information about other elements as well, then do comment and let me know, and I will create the video for them as well, right? So let's go on and discuss the emails. So emails are the lifeline of Mautic. Like I said, the contacts, the segments, campaigns, emails, forms, these are the lifeline of Mautic. So as you can see, again the same type of view. So this is a common template. Now we understand that, and we have the action to create a new email, or if you want to check out if what happened to existing emails. So when you click on them, you get a detailed view, and this shows you what is going on with these emails, how many were sent, how many were read, how many failed, clicked, unsubscribed, bounced. This is all about it, right? And also, when you send out email, each of the link that you place in email generates a unique tracking ID. This is how Mautic does the tracking, right? It will generate the unique tracking ID, and whenever someone clicks on uh, this link, unique link that Mautic generates, they will be redirected to that particular page, and it will be tracked by Mautic. So when you click on the this thing here, the number, it will show you here. It will show you the contacts which took this action or who clicked on this link in the email, right? I will go back, and yeah, so let's go on and create an email. So again, with the email, you get two type of email. One is segment email and one is template email. Template emails are those which you use in the campaign. So if you create a segment email, that will not be displayed when you are trying to send an email using a campaign, but template emails will be displayed in the campaign. So this is the difference between two, right? Other than this, they are almost the same. When you go for the segment email, what you will get is you can choose a segment here, and you can choose when you want to publish this, and you can choose on which date you want to publish it. So for example, if I created this email today, but I want to send it out to this segment tomorrow, so I will choose the date here, right? So date and time you can set, and then you can do publish, and when this email is published, all the contacts in this test segment will receive this email. So now let's talk about the email builder, and before that I will go for the advanced tab. So in the advanced tab, you can choose if you want to set some custom headers, if you want to use owner as the mailer. So if it goes and checks if the let's say you have 5 users on Mautic who have their different contacts assigned to them, and whenever you are sending an email, so you can choose if owner as mailer. So what will happen is whoever owns that contact, his email will be used for this purpose, to send to from address and reply to address. Or you can choose to add different addresses here. as well. And if you want to add some attachment from assets, you can choose it from here. And whenever you create an email, you can just click on auto generate and it will create a plain text version of your email as well. This is particularly good if if you want to keep it simple and send plain text version. um, yeah, so this is about the advanced tab. Again, this is the subject that you get in your inbox. This is internal name to identify the email in the list of emails when you go to the Mautic list view. Again, other things like which is the language, if you have a translation, and subscribe, unsubscribe, if there is feedback form you want to place when the contact is unsubscribing from this email. If you want to choose a preference center page, UTM tags. So these are all the informations. Let's say these are meta information about this email, which helps to configure it. And then again, there are different themes option. You have code mode as well, and you can choose from this predefined templates, or you can create your own as well. So let's say I go with the let's say go with the oxygen. Then I will give it a name. Test email. Test email. Internal name. Okay. Then I will go to builder, and you see you already get this template elements. Now what you have to do is you just have to click on something, you get the editor here, you can customize, right? You can give it padding like 25 pixel top, 25 pixel bottom. You can click on the button, you can customize the link on the button. Again, when you place some link here, this will be converted with a unique tracking ID, and whenever someone clicks, you can choose you will get a tracking information about them, right? You can choose the color of the button, whatever you go with. You can choose the text color, you can choose where to place the button, right? What is the size of the button? So these are the kind of options that you get. I know the color is not changing. There must be some bug in this version of Mautic. Let me try to place a new button just to demonstrate this, right? So let us try with this. So yeah, now you see this is changing. So what might have happened with this button is that it's hard coded when in the back end of the template, in the code of the template. So that's why it might be not being overridden when you are using these options here, right? So these are all the customizable options. And when you click on image, you get all these options for the image. You can add a link, or you can unlink, you can edit link, open link. How you can change the size of the image. Usually I go for 100% to cover the whole area of this element, but you can choose to have different size. So for example, let's say let's stick to 150 pixels, so it's like a uh, thumbnail. You can remove this image, you can align this left, right, center, and you can replace this image. So how you can replace this image? You can choose this option to upload from your computer. You can just drag and drop image here, it will be uploaded. And you can use the URL from where this image is coming, or you can choose the Mautic's media manager to upload image, and then you can just select, right? You click on this. I think there is still some bug here. Okay, double click is working. Otherwise, there is one more option that comes, for example, in here. So whenever you click on the image, then you get you see the image here in detail, and it asks you to select it. So this I think not working in this version, so I will have to check what happened. Anyways, so this is how you change the image. There are again the same options available: one column, two column, three columns, however you want to. And then we have dynamic content. So let's say dynamic content here, and as you can see, so here again what you can do is add a variant. You can add as many variants as you want. So by default, what you place here, let's say hello sir or madam, right? So this is by default what you are sending. But if you want to check what is the salutation of this person, so let's say uh, let's see, uh, let's say title is Mr. right? So instead of sending hello sir, you can write hello Mr. and then like this. Okay. For adding token, you can choose from here as well. So you are getting all this information. Let's say first name. So as you can see, the same thing. Okay. So what will happen is when you are sending this email to some contact, what will happen if we have this field available, this field title, and it is equal to Mr. Then the variant first will be used. If it is not existing, if any of the other variant is matching with this condition, those variants will be used. If not, then the default will be used. So default will be global to all of it, right? In the text section as well, here you can choose to add multiple things, like this is asset. So you place asset, then you will get the asset download link in the email, right? And there are other options as well, like the page link. You can add the page link here, or contact field address, sorry, here. Okay, so this will create a page link in the email. Then you have option to add other elements. All the company things are there, all the contact fields are there, so you can choose all of this, and you can also choose the dynamic content. So when you go for the dynamic content, this the thing that we created in the dynamic content section will appear at this placeholder, and this will work based on the condition that we set in the dynamic content section, right? So this is how you create email. Again, you can click on apply. This will give you a preview URL, so you can see how it will look in the browser. But my recommendation is always send the test email, because how the email is displayed in your browser can be different from how it displayed in your email client. So if you are using Gmail or you're using Outlook, it could be a bit different how this email client is interpreting the HTML of this email, right? So if you're using Thunderbird in Linux or Firefox, or sorry, in Windows, or you're using Outlook client, you're using some other client, so it may vary from client to client. So it's always best to just create this email, let's say, and then send example. You can send add multiple recipients, and you can send example email to them, and this will show you how it looks in the email, in their email client, right? So yeah, so if you send example, it will be sent, and then you have option to edit this, you have option to directly send this, because this was a segment type of email, right? So segment type of email, so you can already start sending it out. So because this is right now published for a certain date, so that's why it's coming pending. On that particular date and time, it will be published, and it will be sent, right? And then again, like landing pages, you have option to add A/B test here as well. So when you add A/B test, you can create another version of the same email, and it will be randomly sent, mostly 50%, and you can see which is giving you a better response, and in future you can decide to use that one. For now, I will delete this because I don't want to send this email to anyone. So this is how the email works, right? So next I will go to the points. As I said, I will skip this part because these are not commonly used with Mautic. If you want to use them, if you want to understand them, you can look up the Mautic documentation, and if you want me to create a video about them in detail, do let me know in the comments, and I will create the video for you. Okay, so let's move on to next thing, points. So points, you want to assign points to your contacts when they take certain action. For example, if you are sending them email, and they click on some email to when you send an email, and then you have campaign action that says if you want to assign them points on opening the email, so you know that they open the email. What I do usually is I use the point in binary terms, like 2 1 2 4 6 1 2 4 8 16 32 and so on, because the sum of them is always unique, and I know what action was taken. So I prefer to use them, and So in the point right now, what you can do is you have certain actions, and based on those actions you can assign or add or subtract the point from the contacts account. So for example, I was giving you an example of a campaign. Let's say I have a campaign and I'm sending email, and I want to see how many people open the email, and if they open the email I want to reward them 1 point. Then if they click the link, I want to give them 2 points. Then if they submit the form on the landing page, I want to assign them 4 points. And based on this is basically a process of lead nurturing. And by the number of points, you can decide now this is the time I want to go on and change the stage of this lead to a different one. So you can, let's say, after crossing 16 points, you want to add them to a very interesting lead, or the lead which is interested to buy, or they can convert because they are interested and they are taking so many actions with your campaign. So it is plausible that they are interested. So you can go on and change their stage to next level, and then go on to contact in direct way, right? So let's say I will give the points here. Email open, I will give 1 point, right? And all the actions that there are, you can choose from here, right? Most of the time you will be using campaign for this, but it is important to describe this because there are two ways to assign the points, and actually there are multiple ways to assign the points, and I will discuss them later. But now you should understand how the point action works. So when do you want to assign the point to this contact? When they download asset, or an email is sent, or the email is opened, or the submitted form, or the landing page was visited, or the specific URL was visited. So I want to add the point for opening email, so I will choose this option. And then you can limit this to any particular email, or do you want to just assign them whenever they open any email? So this is this field, right? So I want to, let's say, leave it blank, so it will apply to all the emails. Any email that you are sending, if they are opening, they will get 1 point. Or if you want to select this one, so they will get a point when they open this particular email only, right? So again the same thing. Do you want this to happen every time they open the email? Yes. So this will happen every time, and then save and close. Your point action is now there. So then we have triggers. So what is the difference between action and trigger, right? So action is when the contact is taking some action, and then you are rewarding the contact with point. uh, and triggers are something that when a contact acquires a certain number of points, you want to trigger some action. So these are kind of no, opposite but related. So let's say I want to um, add an event. So what could be that? So let's say if a contact acquires 16 points, I want to change the contacts campaign and move them to the next level, right? So add contact to, let's say I'm putting them in recurring email campaign. Okay, I add the event, and when do I want to do this? When the contact acquires 16 points. So change stage, change campaign when 16 points. Okay, so this is the trigger that is going to be this event will happen when the contact acquires 16 points. So based on number of points, a trigger will happen. So this option is actually important because what this is telling you is if you want to trigger for existing applicable contacts only, or do you want to use this for new contacts from here onwards, right? Or which new contacts which newly acquire 16 point after this trigger is published. So if you choose yes, so what it will do is, let's say if you have 100 contacts in Mautic and 70 of them already have 16 number of points, so this will apply to all those 70 contacts, right? And if you put it no, then this will apply to those 30 contacts which later on will acquire 16 points or more. So this is how this option works, right? So you can just publish this, save and close, and this will be live. But I don't want this, so I will for now delete it. I don't want this as well because I'm managing this from my email campaign. Okay, so next point, stages. So what you can do is you can create a stage of this contact, right? So these are weight is like how important this stage is, right? So let's say I will say new lead. So weight is 0. This is a newly acquired lead, and I create this stage. Then you can add new one. Then I say contacted. So now this lead is contacted, and I assign the weight 1. So I created 2 stages, right? So similarly, now what I can do is I can create another one. So this lead is taking interest in our campaigns, and so weight 2 save. So this is the way you can create different stages, and then you can assign the stage to a contact when they acquire certain number of points. So this is how you can identify the level of this contact's interest in your campaign or in your product. So this is how it works. This is Stages are actually very simple, very simple. You are just uh, segmenting or categorizing your lead based on their interest in your campaign. So this is what stages are. Then we have reports. By default, Mautic gives you some reports like how many pages were visited, what are the campaigns, submitted forms, leads and points, downloaded of assets, and all emails. So let me just give you an example using an existing report that is created by Mautic. So this is published pages visit report. So it will give you some parameters like when the user visited it, which URL was hit, what was the title of this page, from where did it came, what is the IP address, from which city it was hit. If your IP can resolve into cities, then this information will be available, and how much time they stayed on the page, or no, when was the timeline of this visit, and like there are so many parameters, and these are all customizable. Yes, you can go to edit, and you have multiple parameters. Like this is the basic information, then you have data. This is all the things. These are all the columns that you can have, and these are columns that you select. You can move them left and right. So as you can see on the first section, we had date hit, URL page hit, referrer IP address hit, city and hit country. So you can choose if you want to display them on report or not, and what will be the column, and if you want to order the result in that column, right? You can filter when and how this happened. You can group these results by some information. You can add some calculated columns as well. So I will be doing a detailed video on reports, because this is a huge topic, and so many people don't understand how the reports work in Mautic. But this is actually very vast and very complicated, but important. If you are looking for something specific, like you work with Google Analytics, so reports can give you something similar kind of experience. So this is how report works. I will be creating a detailed video about this as well in future, so don't forget to subscribe and press that bell icon. Okay, so moving on, I've already talked about all the items that we have here except for campaign. So let's now discuss the campaign. This is the most important thing, and I will just show you one recurring email campaign. I have already created a video on how you can create recurring email in Mautic. So do check it out. I will give the link in description, and yeah, yeah. So then you can see the details of this a campaign that you created. When was categorized, when was it created, the category of it, what is the ID, it was published down or up, and so many information. Then all the events or all the notes that you have in contact, they whenever an action is taken, this is plotted in this graph, right? So as you can see, the contacts were added, and many emails were sent, then add or remove contact. So whenever the action happens, then for example, if I disconnect this action happened, and this will display only. So this is very good if you want to check out some particular statistics. You can choose the date range from here and see the result for that particular date range. The preview is this is your campaign preview from what you create in campaign builder. So this is, as you can see, this is a segment based campaign. I'm just sending an email, and then I'm adding removing contact to from this segment. So what I'm doing here is I'm rescheduling the same contact again and again for sending email regularly, right? So next one, actions. So all the actions that are being taken are displayed here, and this is the contact. So if you have some condition in your event, then along with actions you will get another tab called conditions, and it will show you the statistics of the conditions in this campaign as well, right? So let's jump into the campaign builder and check it out how it works. So instead of creating new, because there's no separate type of campaign, I'm using the existing one to display you how it works. So you might notice one more thing, that if when you place an wait here, like if you don't want to happen this immediately, so this will be displayed in the builder, but it will not be displayed in the preview, right? So as I said, there are two type of options that you get. One is choosing the segment. You can actually choose multiple segments if you have, and you can also add in parallel to choose for the campaign. So if you have a campaign form, you can choose these as well, and you can completely take different actions as well, right? So for contact form submission, you can take different actions, and for test segment you can create different actions. So there are two ways to initiate or trigger your campaign. Once the campaign is triggered, everything else can be same. So you usually get three type of options. What is one is decision, one is action, and one is condition. So decision is totally based on how the contact is taking any action, right? So you took some action, you send an email, and now contact has to act on it. So what action did contact took? Like if he opened the email or did not, if he clicked on the link or did not, right? So based on that, based on contact's action, you choose the decision, right? So as you can see, if the form was submitted or dynamic content was requested, device was visited, and if you go from the email and choose decision, you will see more options like clicks on the email, download asset, open email, and so on. So when you choose the decision, you, for example, this one, let's say, like I will add here, and you can add, by the way, you can add multiple nodes on the same node, action node. So when the decision is taken, based on if contact clicked the email, you can choose what action to take. For example, if you want to change, let's say at this point, so if this contact clicked on email, I want to give them 2 points. So I want to give 2 points, add. And if the email is not clicked, so what you can do is you can take some condition, or you can take action. So let's say I will add just points, and I will add delay here. So let's say if the contact does not open the mail within 2 days, I want to do -2, right? So if the contact does not click on the link on the email within 2 days, then the point will be deducted. Okay, so similarly, this is the decision, and this is what decision the contact took. And then we have condition. So if contact took an action, and you want to check what kind of action was it. So if I want to see if the contact field value is matching something, so let's say if the city is equals to New York, then I want to take some certain action. So contact email was sent, right? After that, let's say contact did some action, and now I want to check if contact is from New York. I want to take another action. Let's say jump to an event, right? And if not, then you can choose some other action or condition or decision. So this is how the campaign builder works in Mautic, and you can create as many complicated campaigns as you want, right? So when you will just apply in close, and then you will get this in your campaign detail view. You will see the changes here, and you will see your actions, condition, decisions, all of them here, and all the contacts which are being enrolled you will find here. And when you click on the contact, you will go to the detail page. So as you can see, this one I'm using for test, and it has a huge history, right? So all the events that are being taken place are logged in the campaign history. Then we have notes as well. You can add a note for this contact. You can choose what are the social profile associated. If there are integrations, like there are multiple options to integrate Mautic with Zoho, with HubSpot, with Pipedrive, and so on. And then we have audit log options. So when the contact was updated or created or identified, these are the kind of things in for this particular contact, right? So these are the overview of the left menu, and now I will so this one is going to be very quick, because otherwise the video will get very long, and setting menu itself needs a separate video itself to discuss in detail. So I will quickly give you an overview of the setting menu as well, and then we can see. So first of all, we have themes. So these are all the themes that Mautic provide you by default. If you are creating any custom themes, you can just browse the zip file from here and go proceed towards installation. And the features tells you all the features that theme is providing. For example, oxygen. I use oxygen a lot, so I will go with oxygen. So this is a legacy theme, and it provides support for page, email, and form, all three type of things. For example, this one was only provided with helping out with email. So this is not available for page or form, right? So this is for email only. So this one is all only for page, and this is not for email or form. So this is the kind of features that you have your theme has available. So there are three type of them: pages, emails, and forms. So you can create a theme which is available, which can be applied on landing page, which can be applied on email, and which can be applied on form. So if the feature is available for all three of them, or any one of them, or two of them, that will be listed here, so you can know from this, right? So this is the theme part, and when theme is installed based on the available features, it will be available in the form, in channel, in landing page. We have already seen that. So if you want to check it out, you can just go back and check it out again, right? So next one is API credentials. So yeah, so this was the demonstration API key, and I created. So basically, when you want to integrate your Mautic with some external application to create a Mautic based app, you can create a credentials here. So OAuth 1 and OAuth 2 options are available. OAuth 2 is more secure, so you should use it. You just give the name of the application, like I gave the demonstration, and then redirect URI. You place the redirect URI here, and then you save and close, and your information will be generated like this. This is your public key and secret key that was generated for OAuth 2 demo. So I will just I'm not going to use them, so I will simply delete them, right? And also I have created another video, not video, I'm sorry, I have created a blog post describing everything there is to know about the Mautic authentication, API authentication, and I have given the example, and the videos are also part of that tutorial, so do check it out. I will put the link in description, so you can check it out, right? So next thing, categories. You can create multiple categories however you want to use them, and these can be different type of categories like form, campaign, form, email. And if you are not getting creating category from here, you can basically create them from whichever part of Mautic you are working with, or whichever element you are working with. For example, when you are creating a contact, it can give you option to create category from there as well. When you are creating email, it will give you option to create category from there as well. Otherwise, you can choose to create categories from here as well. So it's totally up to you. I find it more helpful to create it from the email section or the campaign section whenever I'm creating, because then I have in mind what type of action I'm taking, and based on that I create a category. So this is just to create categories. Okay. configuration, this is the vast one, and it has almost all the things Mautic has. You can configure it from here. So under system setting, you will find the URL of the site, what is the cache directory, what is the log directory. You can change these things from here, and then you have default things like what is the default time zone that you want, and what is the time of for the cache data. So every 10 minutes it will refresh the cache, and further option like course setting, if you set it to no, and then you will have to put the domain name here, so that your forms will be only accessible there, and the page views will be only accessible from there. Other options I have not really used all of these, but I'm doing research on them, and in future I will get out a video for each of these type of things, right? So this was system setting. Then we have theme setting. You can choose which one is the default theme for everything that you're creating, and then you can choose API setting. If you set the API enable no, then you will not have this API credential section. You cannot use it. So you have to set the API credential here, and if you disable the basic as HTTP basic, then you can only use the Mautic API using OAuth or OAuth 2 only, right? So then we have asset setting. So you are setting what could be the maximum file size. So if you want to see when I created the asset, you would notice that it was only saying up to 6 MB file is allowed. So this is managed from here. If I increase it here, and it should be, by the way, supported in your PHP configuration as well. And these are all the extensions that are supported by Mautic by default. You can choose to remove or add more of them. So this is it for the campaign setting. If some event fails, so how long Mautic will wait to retry that event. So this is the setting from here. So every 1 hour it will retry the same event. Okay. Email settings. So this is all about your email configuration. So basically everything that is related to your email configuration is here. The first one is how you want to send email, your SMTP server configuration, who will be the default email sender. And this one again, I showed you this this in email section. So mailer is owner, but I have set this to no, because I otherwise I'd get a problem with SES, and email is not sent. So I don't want mailer is owner. I want all the emails from my Mautic to send by this particular email, right? So by the way, if you want to send email to this one, it will not be received, because this is only I'm using for test purposes. Then if you have an email where the inbox is available, that means you receive emails on them as well. So you have to configure the inbox settings here, and then you will have the option to use the response event of Mautic campaign. So whenever someone respond to that email, Mautic will be able to track it and put it in the history of the Mautic, right? Then you can manage the bounces, unsubscribe requests, contact replies, and so on. These are some things you don't want to mess with unless you have advanced knowledge of it. And then messaging setting. This is the default web view text and signature of the email, but you want to customize them. And yeah, then we have unsubscribe settings. So this is the default structure of the unsubscribe message and stuff, and but you can again configure them from here. So then we have show contact preference setting. If you have a preference page, then you can enable this here. Frequency settings. So basically what options you are providing on the preference page of yours. So you can choose from here what options do you want contacts to have on your preference page. So once you have it, then you can enable it from here, and then you can create your preference page. So next one comes the form settings. So basically you can block some domains which are maybe spamming using the code from your form and trying to spam. You can block those domains here. Contact settings. What are the available things that you have in your the contact view basically. So these are all the available columns, and these are the columns which are displayed, right? So this is particularly this section. So these are the columns which are displayed here, right? So yeah, landing page settings. If you want to place Google Analytics script or some other script here, you can place it here and enable this. So category in the page URL. I prefer to use no, because I don't want to use page category. If you are not assigning a category, then it will display uncategorized. So that is not something good, not a good practice as well from SEO perspective. So well, I don't use it. Tracking settings. This is the tracking pixel that Mautic provides. You have to place it on whatever landing. If you are using Mautic landing page, of course it will be placed by default. If not, then you can, for example, like I said, I use WordPress, so I will just copy this and place in my WordPress landing page, and it will be Mautic will be able to track from request from there, right? Um, so these are some other configuration. If you don't want to track exact IP address, if you want to identify by tracking URL, if you want to add Facebook pixel ID, Google Analytics ID, and so on, you can use them here. But I'm not using Mautic for such advanced things, because for my landing pages I also use the Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager. So most of the things I do from there. So I'm only using tracking pixel or tracking script of Mautic on most of my utilities, right? Report settings, you can choose what kind of export you want to do with the reports. So this is basically related to this last report menus. Always quote data in CSV export. So it will be like if you enable this, then your data will be placed in double quotes. So that's something doesn't matter to me, and I have never used this option in my 3 years or 3-4 years working with Mautic. Right, so text message settings, user authentication setting, webhook settings, and social settings. I'm not going to cover text message setting because I did not cover the marketing message channel, right? So let's jump to user authentication settings. So this allows you to configure the single sign-on settings if you are using something like that. Um, then we have webhook settings. So what kind of action you want to take when there are webhooks, webhook hits. So if you want to process immediately, or do you want to process only using the command line? So I choose to have the webhook executed immediately whenever you create the webhooks, and in chronological order of events. So I left them to default. I do not touch these things. I'm just giving you an overview of that this is there, this is available, but I don't think you will need it. Social settings, yeah. So in social settings, it is letting you know what kind of which is your main handle that you want to use. So you can use Skype, LinkedIn, or whatever you want. So this will be used as your main handle of social media whenever you're going to use it, right? So this is basically it. This is about the configuration overview. Then I will go to system info. This will show you which version of PHP you are using, if you have proper directory permissions or not, or if you have the error logs here. So whatever errors are happening, you can check it out from log section. So you don't have to log into your server using SSH to check the logs. You can check it from here. But for more advanced options, you will have to obviously log into server as well. So yeah, in user channel, you will see the list of all users that you have, or you can create the new users, right? So you just fill in the details and save, and it will create a new user. Next one, roles. You can create roles from here. Like right now I have only administrative role because I have single user. This is created by default, and then you can create another role like login only or view only. So this will only able to view things in Mautic, but not able to change this, and I can assign whatever permissions I want to grant them, right? So let's say I want to assign view only in this one, view, and so on. You can like assign multiple permissions. All of the available permissions are given, and you can choose all of them, or you can choose few of them. So based on what kind of access you want to give to your user, you can choose this information here, create the role, and then you can use this role when you are creating a new user. So like here, You create new user. Right now, as you will see, only administrator is there, but when you create new roles as well, those roles will be listed here and you can assign them to the users. Next option, yes. So we have webhooks. You can create webhooks in Mautic. Webhooks are basically, these are URLs that you place from some other application. You want to send data to some other application. What you can do is you can copy the URL from your other application. You can give it a name, and then you can describe it here. Then you can choose the URL here, and you can select which event in Mautic will trigger this URL. So for example, if I choose company created updated event, so whenever a company is created, let's say I will place here https column example from some webhook URL, right? So let me give it a name, demo. And what will happen is, whenever a new company is created or some company is updated, Mautic will send that company information to this URL. Okay, so let me show you quickly. So I'm using this webhook.site. What this does is it gives you a unique URL, and I will use this. I will go back here. Let me just place it here, demo. And what I will do is company created updated. Let me just save it, right? I've saved this. This is the webhook URL, and I will go back to edit and send test load data. So you can see this was test data was sent to this URL right at this time. So when now if I go to some company and let me try to create one. Okay, so now so now as you can see, the company was created and webhook sent this company's data to the particular URL that we configure. So this is how webhook works. So this works not only for company, but you have other events like company related, contact based events, you have email based events, page hits, and so much, right? So you can create webhooks and you can send Mautic data to some other application using webhook. So that's webhook. And finally we come to custom field, as it gives you flexibility to add your own field. So you are not limited to what Mautic is providing you, right? You can create your own field, you can customize the fields and choose what are the options you are giving. So this will help you to create very complicated forms as well. So that's why the custom fields, right? So let me show you how you do it. Just give a name here. Let's say I get a calculated result for something. You can choose the alias, and if you leave it blank, system will already create it using the all small case letters and underscore in between. You can choose which type of object this is, contact or company. I will go for contact, and then you can choose which is the data type, select region, phone number, country. If you choose country, it will by default it will give you a list of country whenever you use this field, right? So this is pretty thorough. And you can choose default value, which group you want to place in. Like when you go to the detail page of the contact, you will see these options, different options. So you can choose this is published or not, required or not, available on short forms, visible on forms, available for segment, publicly updatable. So these are all the options that you can configure. So publicly updatable means that you can update it from your tracking script if you configure it from there, or if you want to configure using some URL. If this is unique, then the field value cannot be repeated, and if the value is repeated, system will throw an error. If this is available for segments or not, so if you choose yes, then you will be able to filter segment based on this. Visible on forms, if you want to use this field on forms, or if you just want to use it for internal purposes, you can configure it from here. Visible on short forms, so as you can see, when we were creating the contact, we had two options. One was quick add and one was detailed. So if you choose yes, then it will be visible on quick add, as like you can see in the help menu it shows. So I don't want this on quick add form, and if this field should be required or not, I will keep it off. And what is the order? When it is just display order inside the list of the custom fields. So you can create the custom fields here, and as you can see, for example, this one email is unique, so it's a unique identifier. Company email is unique, so this is also a unique identifier, right? So whatever option you are taking, so this field is required company name, so you will see the star here, and all the system generated things, you will see the lock icon in front of them most of the time, right? So this is custom fields. Let me know in the comments if you want detailed video about custom field. If you have any questions on whatever I have gone through in this video until now. And finally, we come to plugins. Yes. So initially, when you install Mautic, it will not be displayed here. You will just have to click install upgrade plugin, and all the plugins that are available, they will be displayed here, right? So if you want to show all plugins, or you want to choose some simple one, you can choose from the drop down. I will just click it, close it, and all the plugins are available. So basically, plugin allows your Mautic to extend its features, and for example, these are all the plugins that Mautic provide by default, and it allows you to configure your Mautic. You can connect it with Pipedrive, and you can connect it with Twitter, Twilio, Sugar CRM, HubSpot, Zoho, and you can also create custom applications. For example, this is just a custom application that does something. I was trying it out as a demo, so I took it from Mautic's official repository, and yeah, so Mautic plugins are basically a way to extend the features of your Mautic. You can create custom campaign actions. You can do some things like applying filter on the emails. You can do some custom records reporting. You can create your custom webhooks. You can do pretty much, you can create your additional menus here as well. So there is a lot that you can do with Mautic's custom plugin. So yeah, if you're looking for a plugin, if you need help, you can definitely contact me. And yeah guys, so this is it for this video. And how do you think I did? This was the first long video I'm doing on this channel, so let me know how it was. If you have any questions or queries, do let me know in the comments. And yeah, have a good day, have a good time. Bye bye.